Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast. If you haven't tuned in before, grab a cup of tea. It's time for Tuesday Tea Break Talks. I did an episode a few weeks ago where I spoke about branding, and a few of you guys said I got my whole marketing team in. I had 3 emails about this. Got my whole marketing team in the room and said, right, listen to this, and played it to them, which is quite scary in a way. Sometimes I forget how much advice I'm giving and how many changes businesses make, but it is based on nearly 20 years worth of expertise that I've done in the industry. So I hope today is useful as well. Following on that thread, today I'm going to talk about a metric nobody talks about, and most marketing teams I talk to don't have a goal for this or a measurement. Before that, I'm going to get up on the screen in front of me. We have a webinar coming up with the lovely folk at TaxCloud and also the guys from Seguno. There's going to be a webinar on the 26th of February. It is at 4 p.m. London time. I will be hosting it, which will be, let's check on Google quickly, 4 p.m. London in New York is, dun, 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 dun. It will be 11 a.m. New York time. And for those in LA, time to get up early, gang. It's going to be at 8 a.m. LA time. How exciting. The webinar is all about the hidden threats that might be costing you big. Again, I'll be hosting, and these guys are going to do some amazing talks. It is free to sign up. We will put a link in the description below. It will probably be on lots of our newsletters. Shameless plug, go join the newsletter. And now I can kick off today's episode. How exciting. It is going to be a good webinar, though. Make sure you guys do come along. But we are going to be talking about the thing that nobody talks about. So these are some of the metrics that brands talk about all the time. And if you haven't heard of all of these, you might not have heard of the last one. If you haven't heard of the first 4, where on earth have you been? You must be new to this. So first one is profit, gross and net profit. Businesses want to make profit. The second one is ROI, sometimes known as ROAS, which is basically I'm putting money into advertising. How much money am I getting back? ROI is return on investments. That could apply to anything you're spending money on. I'm investing some money. What is the return? How much money am I making back? Am I making, again, back to first one, profit. ROAS is specific, return on ad spend. So I'm spending money on adverts. How many sales am I making on my Shopify store? The third one is just revenue. We want the revenue to grow. Some companies set revenue targets. I think they're silly, but that's fine. We're just to talk about that quickly. I can't just brush over that. So the reason I think they're silly is because, and I used to do this, I used to make these big elaborate business plans, and I'd spend most of December making a business plan. And then I got this guy, Sean, who's an advisor to me, who has been there and done it for many, many years, Mr. Sean Varga. He's an absolute legend. He's basically retired, but so experienced in the agency game. And he was like, what are you doing that for? And I was like, to have a plan. And he said, surely the plan is get as much as possible. And actually the way we do plans now are not annual. They're just whenever we need them. It's like, oh, is what we're doing right now working? Is it not? And let's pivot the plan. And then the plan normally is more tactical and strategic than just, we want to double our revenue or go up 10% revenue this year or whatever that might be. So how exciting. So revenue is one you could be looking at. Another one could be conversion rate. We're driving less traffic in sites, increase conversion rate. Not a bad thing. And the final one, I'm going to quick sip of tea. See if you can read out loud what this is. EBITDA. This is normally referenced when you're selling a business. And I should say I got a stinking cold. I don't know if I said that at the start. My brain's not really braining this morning. But yeah, I've got a stinking cold, so I'll be drinking a lot of tea. And if I start sneezing, it's because I've got a stinking cold. The UK, we export a lot of things. And one thing we export in massive, great quantities is the common cold. I am going abroad later this week just for a day to go and see a client, which would be really fun. Anyway, EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization, and rent or restructuring costs. This is how it's kind of how they value a business. So some sort of multiple of that per year. So that sounds like a really good list, Nick. Been running businesses for decades. What is missing from this? I'll tell you what's missing. And a chap leant over to me and said this at a dinner I hosted last week. It was a lovely dinner, and we had the lovely Mamas and Papas, one of our clients. They're very well known here in the UK. Had lovely Sammy from Mamas and Papas joining us, and she was brilliant. Did a little talk and stuff. And someone leant over and said, Nick, do you know what's missing? Most businesses, they don't seem to set a goal or metric for, drum roll please, lifetime value. Like, it's probably not a new metric to you, but lifetime value, I don't actually think I've ever heard a team say, we have a goal of increasing lifetime value by X per quarter, per half year, per year, or in 5 years, we need our lifetime value to go up by double or triple or whatever the metric might be, which got me thinking. It's a very, very good point. I've never heard anyone actually talk about that. But then let's pull this apart. And the reason I might not have heard this, and the reason, I say I might not have heard this, I don't hear marketing teams talk about this at all. But one of the reasons might be that I work in acquisition. So we run SEO PPC for businesses. We spend millions every month on it, on Google and Meta and Bing and lots of other places. So maybe we just don't get access to that because we're on the customer acquisition side. But then that's not true, because I look at GA4 and Shopify Analytics, and I can see that the work we do on SEO and PPC for businesses drives minimum 50% through those two channels of the whole business. Some businesses over 90%. So clearly, even if there is an LTV goal, it's not being achieved because it needs to go up. So lifetime value, LTV is what we're going to call it. So statistically, it's and I made lots of notes on this, it is often the cheapest thing to influence. Marketing teams should, get this, and sorry if I've thrown anyone under the bus, especially in my own clients with this, but we'll break this down a little bit. I think marketing teams actually should be judged on this. So the acquisition point is really cool and it's important. We've got to acquire new customers. But actually, we should be judging marketing and probably product as well, and some of the other areas, maybe packaging, on lifetime value. There's acquisition, then there's lifetime value. You should have two targets for each of them. So we normally have an ROI of like, here's our entire marketing budget. What's the business turnover? Actually, we should split that business turnover. What was recurring business and what is net new business? And the ROI and ROAS, again, I'm saying a lot of scary things today, so it's going to make my job harder as well if any of my clients are listening, which I know some of you are, because then you say, hey, Nick mentioned this. My team are like, did he? And it causes a good challenge, always a good challenge. But I think that I think one of the things we need to think about here is actually what is a target for lifetime value. So I'm going to break this down statistically. And if you've noticed as well, it was so dark a minute ago when I hit record, and now the sun's come out. So it's all suddenly got really, really light in this room. Welcome to British weather, folks, in February. How exciting. Let's do some maths. So a business has, well, Shopify store has an average order value. You can write this down if you want, an average order value of $100. So write that down. Average order value, $100. And LTV, I didn't even look at what stats people might track LTV in, but I've used a decimal place. So I've said, imagine the LTV of this business, $100 average order value, and the lifetime value is 1.2. So that means we get 1.2 sales per customer. Some people then wrongly, I think, look at this and go, oh, so 20% of our customers buy a second time. And it's like, well, no, because some people buy 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But on average, every time we get a sale, we get 20% more revenue than that from later sales from those customers. Again, some of them might buy 10 times, some of them might buy just once. And so that means you could say, if the AOV is $100, the lifetime value is 1.2, we're making $120 per customer lifetime. Or it might be, another way to look at this maybe is annual. And annual could be a good way to look at that. But let's just go lifetime at this stage. The lifetime value of a customer is $120, and then we generally never see or hear from them again. So second bit of data then. So we got $100 AOV, 1.2 lifetime value. Every customer's worth $120. Let's say we've got 10,000 transactions a year. I deliberately chose something that starts with a 1 and then just has zeros to keep it simple. So let's say we've got 10,000 transactions a year. That means if you do the extra $20 we're getting, $20 times by 200, times by 100, 10,000. You can tell I've got a cold. Start that again. So the $20 you're getting on the post first purchase, the $20 per customer on average, times that by the 10,000 transactions that we're getting. On average, we get, 10,000, in new customer transactions. We're getting around £200,000 a year from second or more orders from customers, from repeat purchases. Therefore, this is where the genius bit comes in. If I said that 1.2 lifetime value, we need to increase from 1.2 to 1.3, you might go, well, all right, we'll send one better email every month. One better email, and we could increase it to 1.3. Your revenue's just gone up by 100K a year. You're now getting 10% more revenue per, that's based on the average order value, but you're getting at this point just under 10% more revenue per customer. So you see, suddenly it's like that 200K we're getting from second or third or fourth orders, that 200 grand from recurring orders or a future order from existing customer, suddenly it's gone up to 300K, and we've only increased the LTV from 1.2 to 1.3. So advertising for a new customer could cost you $30, $50, even more than that to get that £100 average order value per customer. So second order, it's got to be cheaper, right? We got to look at this thing. So I think the homework here, and I'm going to comment on some of the ways we can do this. The homework has got to be, we need to set our marketing teams or set our business a KPI that is lifetime value increase. We need to work out how we're going to measure it, and we need to start increasing that and then work out what our channels are going to be. I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea and then we'll talk about some of the ways, tactics and strategies you could use to do this. Oh, such a sore throat. So how do we do it? Big question. How are we going to increase that lifetime value from 1.2 to 1.3, 1.4, 1.5? The first thing is check out a thing in Shopify called the customer cohort analysis. It is one of my favorite graphs in Shopify, and I do have quite a few. Thanks for asking. But check out the customer cohort analysis. It's blue, and it shows you everyone who's done a first sale, and then it has months all the way across and months down. So it will tell you that in September, everyone who bought in September, it'll tell you what percentage of people bought again in September, how many people bought 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what you tend to find is this diagonal dark blue patch. It's got this blue conditional formatting, conditional coloring on it. Darker, the more sales you had that in that period, or at that point from that month that it happened. Customer cohort analysis, it'll make sense when you look at it. But you find this kind of diagonal dark blue when it comes to peak. So when you hit sort of November, December time, there's this diagonal dark blue through the whole chart saying people that bought in January bought again in November, December because there was a discount and that kind of thing. So customer cohort analysis will give you a bit of an idea. And what you can also do is you can create a report in Shopify. And this Shopify is the place to do it because you need it done at customer level. Do it in Shopify where you create a report that is how many sales and how much revenue have we made per customer. Nice and simple. I got 5 ways that again, looking at existing customers and asking existing clients of ours and asking them over the last few days, how do you increase lifetime value, or how have you done it at your current brand, previous brands you've worked at, et cetera, et cetera? The first one is creating a post-purchase email flow. This won't sound dramatic when I say it, but when I tell you that over 80% of brands that I've bought from in the last 12 months, because I checked this before this call, 80% of brands I've bought from did not have a post-purchase flow at all. I was just on their normal newsletter. There was no sort of, you've bought this product, has it arrived? Can you leave us a review? And then can you do this? And then do you want to have a look at this? And do you want to watch our brand video? And have you followed us on socials yet? Only 20% of them had any kind of follow-up. I mean, a lot of them, again, I've got newsletters, but most of them didn't have a follow-up relating at all to the purchase I made. The data around the purchase I made is invaluable, and it probably cost you lots of money to get me to buy in the first place. And that's the point here with around the acquisition cost versus getting that repeat order or getting that second order or something else. Every email in this post-purchase flow, in my opinion, should have at least 2 versions. So you should be A/B testing every single email that goes out. And if you're not getting any sales from any of them, start off with the clicks. This one's getting people clicking through and engaging with the website as a result of seeing that email. Build a flow, make it work, see which works best, and always be testing those emails. Number 2, I love this one. It's so simple. And I'm going to give you some numbers on how to work this one out. So offer a time-sensitive offer. So you've got to buy this in the next 7 days, or thanks for buying from us. You've now got 30 days to use your buy again discount code. We found out from Seguno last year from a massive project they did, a massive number crunch. The sun's properly come out now. How exciting. You see how distracted I am today. But Seguno did an enormous report that outlines that if you use customized or bespoke or unique discount codes to the customer or to the offer, you're much more likely to get a conversion. If you just say like repeat 10 and give them 10% off or $10 off or something, you're going to get way less people buying from you than if you use a better code, which is like, my name's Nick, put Nick in the code. You know, Nick 10 March, saying it's going to end in March, or even put my name and the date the code runs out. And now that post-purchase email flow I mentioned in the first point, you've now got some content to put in that. But the maths, it's cheaper than running ads to send an email. If you double the amount of emails you were doing right now and double the amount of sales you were getting on email, how much more would that cost you? Probably next to nothing. Certainly compared to the traffic cost of paying, $1, $2, $5, $10 per click. We have some clients that literally pay over £50, which would be about $65 per click. That's how much money they're making. That sounds like an expensive click, but it's really cheap when you look at the economics. So if you give a customer 10% off and your average order value is $100, go back to those metrics, it's costing you $10 to get a sale. It's a 10-to-1 ROI on that second order. If that then builds a habit and they come back and buy 2 or 3 more times without you having to really nudge it too much, they're just in a habit now of buying from you, then the ROI is infinite. If they buy 3 times after that one email, you've got a 30 to 1 ROI on giving them $10 off. It's genius. It's so simple. It's so simple. But again, it's the creative on the email that's going to be the complicated bit. So number 2 is offer a time-sensitive offer or notification. Number 3, love this one. Clearly, and this is what I didn't get from 80% of those people I bought from, clearly outline the complementary products that they need. Let's think of a product I've bought recently. So I got a new car last year, which I'm very, very proud of, and I love my new car. It's excellent. And for my new car, I wanted to get an umbrella for the car. And so I bought an umbrella for the car. And then I started getting notifications saying, would I like to buy some wellies as well? And then I got asked a post-purchase survey. So I did it. And they said, what's this umbrella for? And I said to put it in my car. And then they started sending me phone holders and other accessories that the same brand sold for the car. And I thought it was really smart that as soon as I told them I bought it for my car, they started sending me that different stuff, or different offers and different products they're recommending. And I did actually go back and buy a phone holder from them as well, because I told them that the umbrella was for my car. But you wouldn't have known if you didn't ask. So again, part of that post-purchase email flow could be a post-purchase survey. And using AI now as well, you don't need to ask multiple choice questions to get good data. Just say to them, please write in this box where you use this product, where you store it, and what's it for. And then use AI to ask AI, based on all of the answers to this question, what are the most common places people use this product? And then you can create some AI within your email platform, probably, that says, anyone who says any of these words, start recommending products, or find products that use some of those keywords from our site, start recommending those. But then there's a question, isn't there? So 3B is, what happens if we just sell one product and once you've got it, you kind of got it? Now, this is a very, very smart idea, I think, and it's something lots of my clients have done. The best and smartest ideas were not mine. So this is one I've nicked from many, many clients that have done it loads before. Do a collaboration with a brand that do sell a complementary product. And most importantly, don't sell your product. Sorry, just having another sip of tea. Very dry throat. So find a brand that sell a complementary product to yours and do an email swap. Swap email databases with them. Or rather than swapping emails because of GDPR and other stuff, which I'm going to talk about loads in a few weeks. I should have told you about that. Very, very exciting episode coming up with a very special guest, and recording it next week. How exciting. And we're going to be quoting it a lot. But find another brand. So instead of swapping email addresses, maybe send an email out to your database from you featuring their product. And again, an offer from them, and you do the same to their email database. I've seen some incredible results off the back of this. And what are you really doing long term? You're getting a load of cheap orders in. We're having to pay the advertising cost. Just get them in the door, get more products being sold, get more revenue in. You can then use those customers to do more surveys, get more reviews. That helps the bigger, wider like SEO machine and PPC machine work harder. Number 4 on our list of 5 is the product consumable. This is where, honestly, I see so many brands getting this totally wrong. A consumable product, coffee, healthcare, supplements that people sell, glucose gels was one of them, toothpaste. All this sort of stuff runs out, right? So obviously you need to offer a post-purchase subscription if they haven't subscribed, and test what the right creative on the email is, like I said earlier, or SMS or WhatsApp if you've got access to do that with your customers. But also, you need to test the timing of this thing. When is the perfect time for somebody to buy one of these products and then need another one? So ask your customers. The more you talk to a customer, the more they engage with you, the more they're just going to go and buy without you having to do any of the complicated stuff. It's about building a relationship. And the more you build that relationship, the more people will just come back to your site and start purchasing. Look, the cable suddenly appeared by the screen. How bizarre. There we go. We're back. But anyway, so if your product is consumable, there's such an opportunity to then talk about post-purchase subscriptions, refills, upgrades. And also, if you release a new model of whatever you've sold, whether it's consumable or not, if you release a new model, there's a whole story start talking to people about this. The other thing you could start offering, and even just start selling them on eBay yourself or something, is actually a recycle program. So you could say to people, you can recycle your old device, sell it to us, and we'll give you a discount on your new one. I know of a t-shirt company that does that, and they're very, very successful. They give £5 every time somebody sends a t-shirt back in, and you can use that as credit on their website, and they reuse all the cotton, which is amazing. Anyway, final point, loyalty. So many brands have loyalty points and you get no emails about them whatsoever. If you sent me an email saying, hey, you got some loyalty points, and if you spend £50 more, you can have, you'll have enough to buy a free product. Well, that's 2 orders now that I'm going to be making, and we're trying to increase this LTV, aren't we? So you're going to get more orders from doing that. Loyalty points on their first purchase, encourage them to spend these or even earn more of them to then get a bigger purchase later, like that example I just gave. I think something really interesting about loyalty points that we've tested on a few clients as well is sometimes it's better not to display the loyalty points on the product. It's actually better just to go, you want to buy this product, and people go and buy the product. And afterwards you say, hey, you've earned 100 loyalty points buying that product. They're worth £10 or $10. And actually, you can then go and spend those on your next purchase. You can save them up. And again, it's such a good talking point where instead of just sending random newsletters out saying like, hey, these green Gantt jumpers are on offer right now, which I'm wearing today, actually, you can just say, well, you've bought that product recently, you should buy this. And actually, or almost like click here to get a customized view of all the products on our website, taking into account how much loyalty bonus you've got. I booked a hotel recently and I was thinking, these hotels are cheap. This is amazing. And realized it automatically applied my like loyalty bonus on the hotel booking site. It already applied that loyalty. And I was like, great. I didn't even know I had, I knew I had something. I didn't know it was that much. But yeah, if I go and stay at one of these hotels on this list now, I'm going to get this discount, which is fantastic. So those are 5 ways you can start to increase that LTV, get that 1.2 up to 1.4, 1.8. Imagine, for example, if you got 3 orders from every single customer now instead of just 1. That's 3 times as much revenue as you would have got if you didn't do that at all. So much cheaper than advertising. And so many businesses just rely on Google Ads all day. And don't get me wrong, Google Ads is what I do. It's what I've been doing for nearly 20 years. I love Google Ads. I know almost every single button there is to click in Google Ads. But if brands are going to get LTV off the back of that and get repeat orders, we can spend more on Google Ads acquiring those guys. It makes you more competitive, and it means you can scale your business faster whilst making a profit. Final thought from me. How do you really, really start to win on LTV? More than just the best email, the best loyalty bonus, or something simple and kind of cheap and easy like that. How do you really start to win? I would work backwards, almost do like reverse marketing and go, okay, someone's just made their 10th order or 12th order. They're ordering every month from us. Let's work backwards now to then decide what our initial advertising needs to say and do and how it needs to operate to make that whole journey happen. But working backwards, going, so they're on a subscription, they've been on a subscription for a year. How did that subscription start? Is it going to be from the moment we meet them, the moment we don't meet them? I want to give an example of a collectible coin client we worked with years ago. And these guys, in terms of ROI, these guys absolutely crushed it. And on Google Ads, we had a negative ROI. We lost money running Google Ads, one of the most profitable clients I've ever worked with. So these guys sold collectible coins. And the first coin would be solid silver or gold plated. And get this, as a marketing campaign, it was free. You could buy a free solid silver coin worth 20, 50, £100, and it was free. All you have to do is pay £2.50 for postage and packaging. These guys were producing so many of these coins, they were happy to give 20, 30% of them away for free to sell the rest of them. Really, really smart. So you pay £2.50 as a customer to get postage and packaging. All their advertising said, it's a free coin, £2.50 postage and packaging, and it's made of solid silver, for example. When the coin arrives, it's in a set of 5, 7, 8 coins that you can collect. And obviously all the slots are empty apart from the one that you've bought. Now their telesales call team, the telesales team would phone you up. I told you I had a cold and my brain's a bit mushy. They'll phone you up and they'll say, hey, you've got the first one in the set. Do you want to subscribe? And actually you can set up a weekly, fortnightly or monthly subscription for 20, £30 or whatever it costs per coin. And we'll just send the rest of these coins out. Once that set's finished, they call you and say, hey, you're obviously a coin collector because we did our targeting right in the first place and we hooked you in with this free offer. And you're like, I'm a coin collector. Why would I not take this free coin? And now like, yeah, now I can see the quality of product. And it's in this really cool holder and I have them and I'm going to put them in a glass cabinet on the wall or put them with the rest of my coins because lots of coin collectors in the world. And now you're finished that first set. Would you like to keep the direct debit going? And we'll just send the next one out and it'll have 2 coins in. Again, first one's free. Or you can upgrade. Instead of doing a silver set, you could do a gold set. Or actually, do you want to talk about some of our like £10,000 Roman collectible coins. You know, what kind of coin collector are you? And they have a conversation on the phone, they collect all this information, and it was called silver if we upgraded them to their second set. It was called gold if we upgrade them to a third set. And if they became a coin collector, we called it platinum. So we even used names internally that reflected the product, because the product's made of silver, gold, platinum. Really, really cool. I hope it's been useful. You guys need to get more sales from recurring orders from existing customers. So expensive to get them in the first place. So you've got to get as much as you can from them. Join our webinar in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully I'm feeling better by the next episode, which should be out on Friday. I don't know what's in the diary this week. I haven't really got that far yet, but we should have another episode out this Friday on the show with a guest as well. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to talk about any more of this stuff, drop us an email, hello@winningwithshopify.com. And also, someone asked me about this the other day, and it's not, I don't normally plug the agency too much, but if you do want help with your SEO and PPC, do reach out to us. It's spec, spec.digital, spec.digital. Reach out to us. We can help you PPC SEO. We do have minimum spends and minimum retainers, but if you're a scaling brand and you've hit a shelf, you're perfect. We can really help you grow. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Back again on Friday. Hope you have an amazing week.